So we swore we would be the best parents, the most present parents at all time, and let nothing get in the way of spending time with them. And then a couple years went by, and we were kind of asking ourselves, what happened?
Hey Minimal fam, we all know that having kids is one of the greatest gifts that you can have in your life. And I would go on to say that we want to spend as much time as possible with them that we can. We want to have those first time experiences with them and see things through their eyes and just be able to have unforgettable moments with them and really just build a relationship that lasts a lifetime.
But in reality, it always feels like there's something to do, there's something on the to-do list, we're running after the kids, we're making them a snack, we're changing diapers, and at the end of it all, we just want a break.
Well, the good news is there are some really simple ways that you can really prioritize spending more time with your kids and make it happen, and you'll feel less guilty and overwhelmed by the end of this. After our first kid, Carlin was staying at home and I was working a lot, and I had absolutely no boundaries on my work and free time. And I always wanted to get more and more done, and my outlook was becoming really unhealthy because I would beat myself up when I didn't get a bunch of stuff done, and I'd also beat myself up when I didn't spend a lot of time with my kids. So it was just like this vicious cycle that kept knocking me down. What I did to correct myself was give myself a strict cutoff time. So no matter what, at 5 p.m. each day, I shut down work for myself. This really helped prevent my mind from going back to work. So no matter if I had a email that wasn't very time sensitive or I had a project I just wanted to get a little bit more work done on, I said, no, this is time for me to spend time with my family, spend time with my kids, and just completely detach and shut off and rest. This certainly isn't easy at first, but you start to really desire that time to shut off and rest, and you start to give yourself more grace to do so.
Some of the things I've done to personally slow down is not try to control the way my home is all day long. So I would clean up a mess as soon as the mess was made, or toys were out, or things like that. And I just felt like I was constantly cleaning all day long. And for me, when I'm in the middle of cleaning, I don't tend to stop. Even if my kids want to play or do something, I'm like in my groove. I'm like, let me get this done first. And then by the time I'm done with what I'm doing, the like little magical moment of them wanting to play with me is over.
The next thing that we like to do is try to make sure that weekends are as free as possible, like no huge projects. Now, once in a while, I know some people have to get some projects done, but we try to make sure that we don't clutter our schedules on the weekends because we want to spend time with our kids. We know that weekends are a time for you to stop, recharge, and just relax. And when we started doing this, our kids started to sense that we were just more present. Our kids started to sense that, they didn't have to try to grab our attention because the next second we'd be on to the next thing. And I noticed this a lot whenever it came to projects at home where I knew how to get something done. And waking up on a Saturday, I would just already feel like defeated, already feel overwhelmed. And I couldn't even enjoy those morning breakfasts or anything leading up throughout the day. So making sure that your weekends are free as much as you can, that's huge.
Yeah. I used to make plans on the weekends for us all the time. Like, he works during the week and he was up until recently working 2 jobs. So for me, I felt like, okay, the weekends are time for him to do all the projects I want him to do. But I had to kind of shift that mentality because it's true. The weekends are family time. So I was taking him away from things that we could do together. So we tend to try to take the kids to the park or do something fun with them. We recently did like a little experiment with like the Mentos and the Coke and made it explode. Pumpkins, putting the Christmas tree up, things like that. So yes, there are projects we need to get done, but we are not prioritizing those over family time. So we do the family time first, and then if we have time and we feel like it, we will do the other things that we need to do. Because everything is figure-outable.
Marie Forleo.
He loves that saying.
Here's a question for you. Have you ever told yourself that this week I'm going to prioritize spending time with my kids? I'm going to take them to the park. I'm going to, play with them when I come home from work or play with them once I'm done with the dishes. And then you just didn't do it. I would constantly make those promises to myself at the beginning of the week that I would spend time with them, that I would play with them as much as I could. And the majority of times I would miss out. I would just completely forget, or I'd be too tired at the end of the day. There were times that I did follow through and enjoyed the moment. But the majority of it was me just completely forgetting and beating myself up about it at the end. And this would crush me late at night when I would put them to bed and then I'd go and lay in my bed. I'm like, man, I'm just missing out on these moments and I'm just not soaking them up. And I realized that I really needed to build in non-negotiable time in my calendar to make this happen. At first, this sounds prescriptive and I kind of felt guilty that I had to pencil in time with my kids, but I got tired of feeling like I kept missing out on meaningful moments with them and not following through. And I almost always stick to my calendar. So when I would put on my calendar, take the kids to the park or go on a drive with the kids, I would end up following through. And it really helped me prioritize that time with them in my life. So even though I was planning it on my calendar, I started to kind of expect that time with them and get excited for that time with them. And eventually, I didn't really need to look at my calendar. I still put it in there, but it became more of a habit for me then.
Going back to the slowing down thing, I've been trying to do that throughout the day because I had like this moment where I'm like, man, my daughter, it's mainly in my daughter. She's 3. She wants our attention. If we're doing the dishes, she wants to do the dishes with us. If we're mopping, she wants to mop. If we're watching a show, she wants to do everything that we do. And some of the tasks that I'm doing, sometimes I know she'll slow me down, but I don't want to be the reason why my daughter who likes to clean doesn't want to clean anymore because I'm always telling her no. Or my daughter who wants me to draw with her or whatever she's doing doesn't want to do that anymore because mommy doesn't want to do it and mommy's telling her no. So things like that where I'm like trying to be in the moment, and even if things slow me down, even if she slows me down, or even if I stop doing what I'm doing overall, I'm trying to be in the moment, present with her, and give her that attention at the moment she's asking. It doesn't happen every single time, but I'm working towards it being more times than not, because kids can feel that when you're constantly saying no or later. And I know that my daughter does.
So there are things that just have to happen. So diaper changes, got to feed the kids, got to take them a bath, got to put them down for bed. Those things have to happen. And for me, when I would do those things, I would always try to find a way to make them more quick, more efficient, less exhausting. And then I realized that I'm not soaking in any of these moments. The other day I was giving them a bath and I was like, oh man, like one day I'm not going to be doing this. And I'm going to really wish that I could go back and just give them a bath and, throw the little, soap on their faces and let them play with the bubbles. And I realized that this time is going by very quickly.
Yeah.
And so for me, again, like slowing down and just knowing that this stuff has to happen and just enjoy the moment. Like don't try to make it go too fast, because if you do, then there will be a day that you're going to wish you can go back. And so...
Yeah.
Again, like she said, I'm not perfect at this, and it took me time to even realize, because I was making these mistakes, that I need to slow down. When I'm feeding them, just relax and enjoy the time that they're eating. When I gotta give them a bath, just enjoy giving them a bath. When I gotta lay them down and they don't want to go to sleep, just enjoy the moment while it's still here, because one day they're gonna be grown up.
We are currently in the good old days.
Andy Bernard. The next thing that we did was minimize our home to make maintaining it just so much more easier. When you're a parent, you have 3 kids, it's just constant go, go, go. You're cleaning up something, you got to get laundry done, you got to get the dishes done, and it's just a non-stop to-do list. So with that, special moments just end up slipping through your fingers because you're just constantly doing something. That's why if you have a minimal home, it just takes so much less time to manage all those things. Laundry no longer takes 2 days, it takes 2 hours. Cleaning no longer takes all Saturday, it's just one nap time. So this will make life so much more easier on you and make it so much more possible for you to just enjoy those moments with your kids and not worry so much about everything else. Before you take everything we said but say no way to minimalism, as you're watching this video on the left, you will see why we believe if you don't at least try it, you will end up regretting it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and as always, stay minimal, our friends, and we will see you in the next video.